Well, I found my sticky window thingy. So, you know, I keep my eye on the vape reviews that the big ones do, you know, like the main 3 or 4 vape reviewers. And they're always like, this is a great product, you know, there's some cons, blah, 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 to go through, you know, it's subjective, it's subjective. Well, I ended up getting this bad boy, the Voopoo Drag 2 kit. My local shop had it on for $5 more than Element, so I'm like, okay, well, I'll give it a chance, you know, what's the worst gonna happen? It's just a little bit more, you know, whatever. And so I go in there and pick it all up, get home, and take some batteries out of something else I had charged, and put them in, put the juice in, and start using it. And it's exactly what, you know, you would get here in a review. So, you know, the tank itself is, from what I've been told, compared to like a Baby Beast, but I've only vaped off a couple Baby Beasts off of friends and stuff, and you know, it doesn't seem like it's a bad tank. I like the flavor off of this. I've been vaping, like my fucking bottle, been vaping the same flavor, which is Primal Prickly Pear, Primal Vape Company. Vaped it out of the Falcon, vaped it out of this. It's comparable, but it's not exactly the same. Falcon, you get a little bit more of the pear, I want to say. Like, yeah, this is more like, you get the pear, but it's more watermelon, because it's watermelon pear juice. So, you know, it's different. It's really spot on compared to the Falcon, you know, for the flavor. It's just, you know, that hint of more watermelon than pear. The mod fires up pretty damn quick. I would have to say it's definitely fast, you know, as fast as my iJoy Captain. My iJoy Captain, you know, I know it's an older mod, but like, you know, it's pretty quick. I definitely would recommend it to anybody that wants a dual 18650 battery mod. That, you know, it's pretty good. And like, the thing is, like, all these clouds I've been blowing at, or I'm not going to try to get it on camera while I'm driving, but it's 55 watts right now. So I have the coil that starts off, you know, in the kit when you buy it and you get it home and whatever the hell. I have that coil in, which is 0.4. Produced it as a 0.42, so it's pretty close. So the ohm reader's pretty good on it. I have had problems with ohm readers in the past on other devices on other companies, but the Wismec RX300, that is the ohm reader in question. I bought one from my local shop back around when it first came out. I had coupons because they do a point system, and got it for considerably less than what they wanted it for with the batteries. Got it home, you know, used it for 2-3 weeks, and I was at a friend's house, and I was, you know, talking and vaping with him, and got this nasty burnt taste, and it just stayed. So I'm like, let's take this thing apart and see what's going on. And it burned a hole through the cotton of a TFE8 coil, which has got a decent amount of cotton. And so I put a different coil in there, and I looked at, you know, I was looking at the screen and everything, and I'm like, you know, this is supposed to be a 0.15 for the TFE8. This is reading as 0.32, or I know it was over 0.3. So talked to the, you know, shop. They're like, yeah, you know, bumped up the volts, and then, you know, it could have been more catastrophic than just wasting money on a coil. So I contacted Wismec, and they had it, you know, replaced. They sent me a brand new one after I sent them my old one. I had to pay for shipping and handling to get it there, but it's neither here nor there. Got the brand new one. Used it for about 2 weeks, and then it started reading at 0.06 over, but at that point it makes your 0.15s a 0.22, and it was freaking me out, so I stopped using that. But anyway, ohm reader on this, back to the Voopoo, is pretty good. Battery life, I haven't used it for a full day of like work and driving and stuff. The batteries I had in here I changed out this morning just to last me a full day. The batteries in here now are fully charged, so I don't know, the ones I had, I was, you know, using that just to, because the flavor, I love the flavor. I'm using it for that and some nicotine, and you know, I bought it on Saturday, and now it's a Monday, and you figure 2 days, but you know, not full on driving, using it all the time. So 2 days, and they were this does bars. There's 5 of them. It was 2 bars away from being empty, so not, you know, not terrible. You know, using it, doing stuff around the house, go outside for a minute, use it. You know, it was used pretty much, you know, at least the last 2 days pretty well. So consistent. I don't know what else I can tell you about this. The 510 on it is really clean and really smooth, which I'm not used to. I'm used to having to, you know, back your tank up a little bit, trying to get it, you know, in there. This one, like, it goes pretty good. Like, it's like tank on mod, screw, done. It's not like you have to fight with it. It's pretty nifty. The only thing I'm not too fond of is it sounds hollow. I'm not sure if that's because, you know, it's a very small board with the resin side, and then the other side's the battery compartment, which I can't get. You know, the other side's the battery compartment, so it's definitely got a hollowness to it. Not cheap feeling, just like, what the fuck's in here to make it hollow, / why is it hollow? You know, or what's not in here to make it hollow. But yeah, no, though. Tank flavor's good. Mouthpiece, I'm not one to bitch about mouthpieces. I like the fact that it matches, and that it comes out of kit like that, matchy. And the only thing I can say, actually, is it's kind of thin. You know, when you put it in your mouth, it doesn't feel like, it feels like not cutty, but it feels weird when you do it like that. When you have a normal, like, vape, it's fine. If you miss your lip, it's kind of jarring. Another feature I like is I always worry about my mods being on and leaving them for some, you know, them to fall over and just fucking auto fire. But this one, I don't know if you can see that, probably not. When you hit the button, it says off. So I would definitely recommend the Voopoo Drag 2, though it does not say 2 on it, so it freaks me out a little bit on that too. You know, with all the branding that I've seen on their devices and stuff with, you know, Voopoo, and then they have the whole back panel just says drag. I'm surprised they didn't add a 2. I'm wondering if they just took the old drags and put in new chips and then calling it 2, you know, or surplus, and then maybe change the resin a little bit in the mouthpiece. Not entirely sure. So the other device, because I stopped doing YouTube videos and I bought this like 5 months ago, 6 months ago, maybe, is the Allure. That's not the Allure. The Aspire. The Aspire Spryte. It's a Saltnik device. If there's any, you know, you see the other titles in the video, my Allure Slick shit the bed, 2 of them. One just kept auto-firing. The other one, I kept getting bad pods for, and I went to my local shop, and they got a bad shipment. We opened up 3 boxes. 2 of them had little to no cotton at all, and the other one had this big fat piece of cotton. And I gave the whole device, and my friend bought the pods, gave it to him so he can get off cigarettes. And the fatter cotton started leaking. And I'm like, really? Like, I'm just done. My local shop, you know, got the wind of it, and I told them, you know, when I told them about that stuff with the pods, they apparently had a bunch of customers at that point start coming back and saying, hey, you know, you guys sold me bad pods, and they just stopped carrying the whole device. Plus, they said that the pods were incredibly hard to find. So, the Aspire Spryte spelled S-P-R-Y-T-E. Took a chance on it. I know I've never bought an Aspire product until this. I started off with Kingertech, and Aspire at that point was a little bit more pricey. So took a chance on this. Did a lot of research on you know, different vape review sites and stuff, and more or less it's like watching game reviews. You kind of just got to pick and choose what you really are paying attention to. They say, you know, there's glitches in the system for the games, or, you know, this has a leaky coil base, but it's great flavor, you know. Like, obviously they're getting paid to tell you you know, what they are paid to tell you. This is not, you know, no bullshit. It's amazing. 6 months off of it. It's $10 more than the Allure. Online right now, I think they're $25 on most of your vape sites. No extra battery charging. Battery is built in. Fires up relatively decent. It is based off of volts, so when your battery's starting to die, you're not going to get as much vapor production / of a nicotine hit. But it does the job. Coils are one of the cheapest coils you can find, and cheap doesn't mean bad necessarily. That's one thing I will complain about the coil bases for this. I use there's 3 different options. I think there was a 1.2, 1.6, and a 1.8. I use the 0.6s, 1.6, and they tend to last me about a week of varying use. You know, doesn't really depend on how, like, I usually use it when I get home. Something quick I can just hit and get a little bit of a, you know, my nicotine, come back inside, do whatever I gotta do. You know, besides if I'm going to sit outside for a while, I'll use it like the Voopoo. But coil bases last about 5 to 6 days, and towards the end of its life cycle, you can tell that it's going bad. Coils in this change just like a regular coil in anything else. That's your coil base, the silver piece. You unscrew it like anything else, you know, any other coil base or coil base. Orange part's your fill port. I recommend. I've done the dropper. It sucks because you have to do like 20 droppers. It's a 3.5 mil tank, so you're not going to get out of juice too long. I fill this every like 3 days. Even with a new coil, I'll just, you know, rinse it out, put in a new coil. Not bad vapor production, but, you know, this is more or less for those smokers that want to get off of it. Charges on the bottom. It does. When it's all, you know, the mouthpiece is on top. The mouth cap is on top of the mouthpiece, and it's sitting flush on the table. It will lean, and it's meant to do that, which is, it's kind of cool actually, how they weight distributed it so it can actually lean and not tip over. Coils, you get 5 for $10. So, you know, you figure if you can get 5 days out of one coil for $10, you get 5 weeks for $10 for a coil base, which, you know, that's the price point. If you were to, you know, it'd be more comparable to the Falcon, where you get 2 to 3 weeks out of a box of 3. So, you know, this one you're getting 5 weeks for $10. Takes all the salt nicks. It's supposed to take regular juice. I do not recommend regular juice in it. It will it won't last as long, and the coils, you're not going to get any real vape production. You know, if you're used to a 3 and you put it in this, you're going to get no satisfaction. You're going to have to use like 12 or 18, and those are getting harder and harder to find at local shops, at least where I'm from. So yeah, so that's the Aspire Spryte and the Voopoo Drag 2. The Voopoo I've had for 2 days. The Aspire here I've had for 6 months. Just haven't had a inkling to start YouTube videos, but now I've been getting back into it. Long, boring drives, you know. So take care. See ya.